This presentation will provide an overview of the concept proposal application. As a reminder, those of you who are interested in applying through the Additional Assistance Program, please note that references to the FAST system are not applicable, though the content of the two applications will remain the same. The first tab is the General Information tab, and it contains 4 items. The applicant organization, which should match the legal name of the organization that will serve as the lead for the project and will receive grant funds. The submitting organization should match the name of the organization submitting the concept proposal application. In most cases, this is the same as the applicant organization. However, if a grant writer prepares a concept proposal application on behalf of an applicant, you must disclose the grant writing organization to prevent possible conflicts of interest during the review process. Next, provide a title that concisely describes your project in 15 words or less. Please avoid using acronyms here or naming your project 2025 SCBGP. When providing a project description, think of this as an abstract or a one-paragraph overview of your project. Remember that this is the first section of the proposal that reviewers will read. It should summarize exactly what your project will do, using clear language and avoiding jargon. A good project description briefly covers the core components of the proposed project, including the description of the problem, how the project will address it, what the expected outcomes are, and how you will evaluate them. If you are interested, you can find titles and descriptions for previously funded projects on our website. Next is the Project Budget tab. This tab provides a summary of the project budget. The budget template is a document that will need to be downloaded from FAST. For funds requested, enter the total amount of Specialty Crop Block Grant Program funds you are seeking for your project. This amount must match Category I in the budget template that you will attach to your concept proposal application in FAST, and must be between $100,000 and $500,000, or between $100,000 and $250,000 for the Additional Assistance Program. Please note that a request outside of this range may result in a proposal being disqualified. For local cost match, estimate the amount of cost share committed to your project. Cost share includes matching funds and in-kind contributions. To clarify the difference, matching funds refers to a dollar amount committed to your project from a source other than SCBGP. An in-kind contribution is the estimated dollar value of any time, property, or supplies donated to your project. An example of an in-kind contribution would be someone working on your project that is not paid. You would estimate the value of their in-kind contribution based on what they would typically be paid for similar work. Cost share is not required. Also note that this amount does not get reported on the budget template. And lastly, under total budget, enter the sum of the funds requested and the local cost match. The questionnaire tab contains the 11 sections that make up the core of the concept proposal. These include the 7 items that will be scored, and there are 50 points possible. For this question, select the organization type that best describes the applicant. Nonprofits, for-profits, local, state, federal, and tribal government agencies, as well as colleges and universities, are eligible to apply. Individuals are not eligible to apply. If you are an individual, you must partner with one of the listed organization types to submit a collaborative project. This question is unscored. Next, applicants will select a funding area and funding category. Please read the full description of the funding areas and categories in the request for concept proposals. Then select the most appropriate funding area and category for your project from the drop-down menu. We understand that projects might seem to address elements from multiple funding categories, but you must select the one funding category that most closely aligns with the primary focus of your project. The funding category is a key part of your application since the proposed project will be evaluated on how it addresses a need for the specialty crop industry within the selected category. Furthermore, the funding category determines which committee will review your concept proposal application, ensuring that your application is evaluated by reviewers with a relevant area of expertise. It is important to note that funding categories cannot be changed at any time after the concept proposal application is submitted, which means misidentified proposal applications cannot be reassigned. Therefore, it is vital to select carefully so that your proposal will be evaluated adequately. This question is unscored. Section 3 addresses program priorities. In the RFCP, each funding category has a list of associated program priorities. These priorities serve as a guide to the general issues impacting the specialty crop industry within each funding category. Program priorities should correlate with the specific existing issue, problem, or need of the specialty crop industry that your project will address. All projects must address at least one priority, and please note that proposals that select multiple program priorities do not receive extra consideration. At least one of the priorities listed must be associated with the funding category you identified for Section 2. We also ask that you copy and paste the program priorities exactly as written in the RFCP. Please do not alter them in any way. And provide a brief explanation of how the project will address each priority selected. This question is worth 5 points. The project purpose is where you will describe how your project answers the question, is this project a priority for the specialty crop industry? There will be 2 text boxes provided for this question. In the first text box, thoroughly explain the issue, problem, or need of the specialty crop industry that your project will address. Be sure to discuss this in relation to the funding category and program priorities you have identified. Remember to describe how your project targets an external problem facing the specialty crop industry rather than an internal problem facing your organization. Describe the issue in detail and use data to support your arguments. Also, be sure to establish why your organization is well equipped to address this issue. In the second text box, explain why the issue you identified is important and timely for the specialty crop industry. This is also the place to list the specific specialty crops that will be affected if possible. Keep in mind the ultimate purpose of all projects must be to enhance the competitiveness of specialty crops in California. This question is worth 10 points. The next section asks whether the proposal you are submitting builds upon a previous project that was funded by the SCBGP. If your proposed project builds upon a previously funded project, select Yes from the drop-down menu. In the first text box, provide the grant number for the previous project. In the second text box, explain how the proposed project differs from and builds upon the previous work. The key thing to note is that SCBGP funds cannot be used to duplicate work done in prior projects, so it's important to thoroughly describe how the proposed project is different from any previous ones. Also note that if your organization has received funding in the past for an unrelated project, it is not necessary to disclose that here. If your proposal does not build upon a prior year SCBGP project, select No from the drop-down menu. This question is unscored. The next question is about project sustainability. USDA and CDFA want awarded projects to have a long-term impact without relying indefinitely on grant funding. So in the text box provided, explain how your project will become self-sustaining beyond the grant duration. For example, if your project will create a new program, outline a plan for how the program will continue to exist after the end of the grant period. Or, for projects that will not continue beyond the grant duration, describe how the results of your project continue to benefit California's specialty crop industry after the project is complete. For example, a research project may post findings on a website that will continue to be accessible after the grant duration. This question is worth 5 points. The next question asks you to identify and describe the project beneficiaries. In the first box, estimate the approximate number of project beneficiaries. This number should be realistic, trackable, and reportable. In the second text box, describe how the number of beneficiaries was determined, who the beneficiaries are, and how they will benefit from the results of the project. Note that beneficiaries identified should be direct or primary beneficiaries of the project results. This typically does not include secondary beneficiaries such as employees of the applicant organization or excessive numbers of beneficiaries such as all of the farmers in California. Also, keep in mind that projects directly benefiting a single individual or organization are not allowed. It is expected that projects will benefit some segment of the specialty crop industry. Lastly, if possible, identify the specific specialty crops that will be affected. This question is worth 5 points. Next is where the project outcome measures are selected. You won't select or provide information regarding the outcome measures in FAST. Instead, download and save the Microsoft Word form 1.6.11, also known as the outcome measures template, to your computer. Open the saved document, fill in your information, save it again, and then upload the completed Word document in the Attachments tab. After you've uploaded it, we recommend that you open the document in FAST to confirm that it's correct. Today's FAST demonstration will show you exactly what the Attachments tab looks like and how to upload a file. In the template, you will need to identify one or more outcome measures to demonstrate the project will enhance the competitiveness of specialty crops in California. A later presentation will cover the outcome measures more thoroughly, so we won't go into further detail here. The outcome measures template is worth 10 points. Project duration is next. The maximum grant duration for SCBGP projects is 2 years and 8 months. Projects cannot start before November 1st, 2025, or end after June 30th, 2028. Any dates outside of this range may result in disqualification. We don't assume that a date outside of the range is a typo, so please double check your dates before submitting. Please note that no cost extensions beyond June 30th, 2028 will not be available. This question is unscored. The next section is about the project work plan and outreach. In the text box, describe the proposed plan to accomplish the project work. List the activities that will be conducted to ensure the project objectives and selected outcome measures can be achieved. The work plan should also indicate who will be responsible for each activity. Note that anyone who is designated to receive funding in the budget must be listed in the work plan. Estimate when each activity will occur, and be sure dates for all activities are within the specified project duration for the project. Please use a month-year format such as January 2025 or JAN 2025 or March to June 2026. Also, please describe the outreach component. In other words, how the project results will be shared with target audience stakeholders and other interested parties beyond those directly involved with the project. Some examples of outreach include conference presentations, journal articles, educational materials, or website content. This question is worth 10 points. The last section of the questionnaire tab, number 11, is the budget template. As with the outcome measures, you won't actually fill out your project budget in FAST. Click the link in section 11 to download and save Form 1.6.1.2, also known as the budget template, to your computer. Open the saved document, fill in your information, save it again, and then upload the completed PDF document in the Attachments tab. After you've uploaded it, again we recommend you open the document to FAST to confirm it's correct. And as mentioned before, today's FAST demonstration will show you exactly what the Attachments tab looks like and how to upload a file. Also, items listed in your budget template must support enhancing the competitiveness of specialty crops and directly relate to the project objectives. The budget template is worth 5 points. For both the outcome measures and budget templates, there are a few specific issues to keep in mind that could result in the disqualification of your concept proposal application. Submitting an incorrect or incomplete template, which would also include any modification of the template, attaching a blank template by mistake, or forgetting to attach your template or attaching files other than the outcome measures and budget templates. Once again, please double check to make sure you attach the correct outcome measures and budget templates to your application before you submit. Finally, there are several resources and links available on the SCBGP website to help you as you are completing your proposal. These include the allowable and unallowable costs and activities table, which also has been provided today, the questions and answers from our Q&A, links to recordings of our webinars, the budget template, outcome measures template and supplement, and the SCBGP frequently asked questions. This concludes the concept proposal application presentation.